Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We're learning Mishna Pesachim, Perek Test, Chapter 9, up to Mishna Gimel, Mishna 3. Ma ben Pesach Rishon L'Sheni. What differences are there between the first Pesach and the second Pesach? When you bring the carbon, are there any differences between when you bring the carbon Pesach, the Paschal sacrifice, on the 14th of Nisan, on Erev Pesach, or when you bring it on the 14th of Iyar, which we refer to as Pesach Sheni? So the Mishnah answers, Harishain Aser B'Bal Yerab B'Bal Yamatzeh. By the first Pesach, meaning by what we call the carbon Pesach on Erev Pesach, you have the prohibition of chametz shall not be seen and chametz shall not be found. Meaning, you're not allowed to possess chametz while you're shechting the carbon Pesach. There's a prohibition of possessing chametz in itself, and there's a specific prohibition of shechting the carbon Pesach while having chametz in your possession. So that's going to apply by the first Pesach. V'hasheni, but by the second Pesach, matzah v'chametz b'bayis. You could have at home chametz, you could have matzah, you could have whatever you want. You could have bagels, you could have matzahs in your house. Makes no difference.
It's not gentle.
The point is that the prohibition of owning chametz that applied by the carbon Pesach, the first carbon Pesach, does not apply by Pesach Sheni. By Pesach Sheni, you do not have to rid your house of chametz before you're going to bring the Pesach Sheni. Harishain ta'on halal b'achilasai. By the first carbon Pesach, meaning the carbon Pesach of the month of Nisan, you need to recite halal as you eat it, which means at the Seder, right? It doesn't mean necessarily, at the meal, at the Seder, where you're eating your carbon Pesach, you have to say halal there. Okay, that applies by the carbon Pesach of the month of Nisan, by Pesach Rishon. By the Pesach Sheni, it does not need halal while it's being eaten. Now, this is all based on psukim, on verses where we derive that on the night of Pesach, we recite halal. That's referring to, again, by the Seder with the carbon Pesach. And that same pasuk, which I believe is from the same verse, or based on the same verse, we exclude Pesach Sheni from that. That when you eat the Pesach Sheni on the night of the 14th of Iyar, you do not have to recite halal then. But the point, what was pointed out actually it's the next part of the Mishnah. So these were the differences. The first difference is the fact that by the Pesach Rishon, by the Pesach the month of Nisan, you cannot shech the carbon Pesach while possessing chametz, and by Pesach Sheni does not apply. The Pesach Rishon, the Pesach of the month of Nisan, when at the meal that you eat the carbon Pesach, you recite halal. By the Pesach Sheni, you do not. Now, what do they have in common? But when they are being performed, meaning when they're being shechted, they both need to recite halal. We had in previous Mishnayos that when the carbon Pesach was being slaughtered, they recited halal. The same thing happens when the Pesach Sheni is being slaughtered. You recite halal. The verse that excludes Pesach Sheni from halal was the night halal, not the day halal. And therefore, both of them, you need to recite halal when you are shechting them. And they are eaten roasted with matzah and maror. Both of them have to be that way. The truth is, the Mishnah doesn't mention this, but there's another thing that they have to be the same, and that is that they have to be a male, unblemished in its first year. That applies there too. Basically, whatever applies to the actual body or the eating of the carbon Pesach applies by both, by the Pesach Rish, Pesach Sheni. Things that are, so to speak, outside of it, like owning, like possessing chametz, like possessing chametz, that doesn't apply. Okay, so the Zebed said now halal, reciting halal is also basically it's not necessarily part of the carbon itself, but again, there we have a source to say there that you do need halal while you are shechting it. It is going to be eaten roasted with matzah and maror. Again, that is relevant to the carbon Pesach itself. The doichenes Shabbos. Both of them override Shabbos. Okay, Pesach Sheni too. were Pesach Sheni to fall out on Shabbos, you would be able to offer it on Shabbos. You'd be able to slaughter it on Shabbos. Okay, so the way they bring it down here is, as explained above, the word b'moy adoy in its appointed time, teaches that the first Pesach offering is brought even on Shabbos. Okay, you roast it after Shabbos, but you slaughter it on Shabbos. The same word appears in the laws of the Pesach Sheni offering. The same word, b'moy adoy, in its appointed time. Therefore, it too is offered even on Shabbos. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Probably